Let me tell you something most people get wrong. If you love staying at home, if you cancel plans at the last minute, if loud places, fake smiles, and pointless conversations drain you, you're not lazy. You're not boring, and you're definitely not broken. Psychology says people like you aren't avoiding life. You're avoiding people who drain you, and that truth? It makes a lot of people uncomfortable. Because by the end of this video, you'll realize something most people never do. You don't stay home because you're weak, you stay home because you see too much. So don't click away, this part matters. Part 1. What people get wrong about you. Let's be honest. People look at you and think, oh, they're antisocial. They don't like people. They must be insecure. But psychology says something very different. You don't hate people, you hate wasted energy. You don't avoid social life because you're scared, you avoid it because most of it feels empty. You fake laughs, forced smiles, same drama, different day. Your brain notices what others ignore, the fake enthusiasm, the hidden tension, the conversations that go nowhere. That's why you'd rather be alone than be surrounded by people who don't feel real. And here's what most people don't understand: once you see through that illusion, you can't unsee it. Part 2. Why home feels like a safe zone. Have you ever noticed that moment when you get home and your shoulders drop? That's not coincidence. Psychology calls this emotional regulation. When you're at home, you don't have to perform. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to be on. You can just exist. For people like you, home isn't just a place. It's a mental reset button. Your nervous system finally relaxes. Your thoughts slow down. Your mind feels safe. But here's the part nobody warns you about. Once your brain experiences that level of peace, noise starts to feel unbearable. And that's when people start calling you distant. Part 3. Quiet people see everything. Here's something most people don't realize. Quiet people aren't clueless. They're watching everything. You notice when someone's smile disappears for half a second, when their tone shifts, when a room suddenly feels tense. While others are talking just to fill silence, you're reading the room. That's why you speak less. Not because you have nothing to say, but because you think before you speak. Psychology links this to high self-awareness. When you finally do talk, your words land. And honestly, that kind of awareness makes people nervous. Part 4. Why you avoid drama. Let's talk about drama. To some people, drama is entertainment. To you, it's exhausting. Your brain processes emotions deeply, so chaos doesn't just annoy you, it drains you. That's why you walk away instead of reacting. That's why you mute people instead of arguing. Not because you're weak, but because you understand the cost. And here's the irony: the people who thrive on chaos often call you boring, because calm makes them uncomfortable. Psychology says people like you value emotional stability over social approval. And that choice? It quietly changes your entire life. Part 5. The hidden struggle no one sees. But here's the side nobody talks about. At night, when everything goes quiet, your mind gets loud. You replay conversations. You analyze things you said and things you didn't. You imagine futures that haven't even happened. On the outside, you look calm, collected, unbothered. But inside, your mind interrogates you. Psychology calls this internalized stress. You don't vent, you don't complain. You carry it alone. That makes you strong. But it also makes you tired. Part 6. The dangerous side of silent people. Here's the part most people underestimate. Quiet people don't explode, they disappear when you're pushed too far. You don't argue, you don't beg, you don't warn, you stop explaining. You stop caring, you stop trying. And when you walk away, there's no drama. No revenge. No closure. Just silence. Psychology calls this emotional withdrawal. And once you reach that point, there's no going back. So if you love staying at home, if you avoid drama, if you choose peace over noise, you're not broken. You're self-aware, emotionally intelligent, and built differently. The world is loud, but the quiet ones, they notice who's fake long before anyone else does. And in the next video, I'll explain why quiet people are mentally stronger than most. If this felt personal, you already know what to do.